Hey everyone, welcome to Syniti's Feature Friday, Custom Dashboard Edition. On Feature Fridays, we dig into the details of the awesome new products, features, and modules that our product and engineering teams are cranking out for the Syniti Knowledge Platform. I'm Kevin Gully, the head of product marketing at Syniti. And I'm excited today to be joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Warden, Syniti's VP of Product. Thanks for jumping on today, Tyler.
Hey, man, happy to do it. Good to see you, Kevin.
Yeah, good to see you. I'm excited to chat today because, obviously, as we've discussed, this is a very important new capability for the Syniti Knowledge Platform. I already mentioned that the new feature is called Custom Dashboards, but maybe you can explain a bit about that and talk us through the overview of what the new feature is all about.
Yeah, something that we really believe in the product organization is building a solution that is that bridge between the business outcomes, what the business wants to achieve, and how the data gets them there. Like, that's the value and power of data, and doing that in a trusted way. And a picture really does tell 1,000 words. And when you need to get your point across, sometimes a picture is the best way to go do that. And so what we wanted was a way for all those data storytellers among our user base to be able to tell those stories through pictures. And what are pictures of data? They're charts, right? They're graphs. They're all those sorts of things. And so we wanted to go out and give all of our users a really powerful, visual, drag and drop, easy to use, but rich palette of storytelling building blocks that they can then put together and then give to their end users, the customers, the clients, everybody that uses the software. So the feature is called Custom Dashboards, but it really is bringing the best of BI into the information management space so we can tell the story of unlocking the value and power of trusted data.
Well, that's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about who's going to be utilizing this solution inside of our application. So who are the primary users do you think going to be? Are they going to be the technical team, the business team? You talk about BI. Is this something that's going to be relatively easy to use so that we may be getting new people jumping into the knowledge platform?
Yeah, so let's talk about the three kinds of people that are going to use it. The first are going to be those consumers of the dashboards. These can range from very senior executives all the way down to individual contributors at our customers. So you may have somebody that logs in and views, in the head of procurement is going to look at how their procurement data quality is impacting their working capital. Or you may have somebody on a migration team logging in and understanding how their load status is going. Or you may have someone that is working within a particular data area in data science to understand what trusted data assets are out there. So anybody that needs to kind of understand the state and trust of their data, that's one whole user community. Then we have the builders. We have the people that'll make these dashboards and unlock these insights around the trust and understanding of their data. And let's break those down into two subsets. This is really an end user friendly capability that if you have some, let's say, kind of an Excel spreadsheet mindset, you could very easily drag, drop, and build dashboards. So there is an area of self-service here, where you can unlock your own discoveries. Nice. But we see the main builders being those data teams, those data stewards, those data experts, consultants, implementers, people that have found an insight either by SKP, the knowledge platform, helping them get to that insight, or something they found on their own that they want to then give and make visible to all of the users. So those builders would be ones that would create, display, and share these dashboards or insights, and then let that wider community come in and view them.
So you were talking a little bit about earlier you were talking about where this platform is going to be, how it's going to be sort of across the entire the SKP. So can you talk a little bit about sort of where in the hierarchy it seems like it's a horizontal that crosses across the entire data landscape of
yeah, that's correct. The reason that we put the custom dashboarding into the knowledge tier is if you think about architecturally, the knowledge tier is that circus tent that sits over everything happening on the three rings of data in the middle. So the knowledge tier, remember, sits horizontally across everything that happens as a stewardship activity. In it, you have your data governance, your cataloging, your metadata management, and it sits on top of multiple, one or many, migration instances or DQ instances or MDM instances or DQ jumpstart instances or business outcomes instances. So because it sits on top, it's horizontally available, which if you take the product architecture out of horizontally available, essentially you can think about it as it's always there. It's always there to take any insight or any data within the Syniti Knowledge Platform and expose that out. So we really wanted to make a foundational, almost platform level feature, which is take whatever data, metadata, insights you have anywhere in the platform and now expose that out in a way that is legitimately consumable with that BI experience that everybody wants. Like everybody uses dashboards every day. All of our stakeholders do, and I'm sure you guys do. However you do your job. So all of those capabilities are expected, are there, but now we can feed that with insights from the knowledge platform, which is, I think, pretty special.
No, I love it. So interesting. Give me an example of talking about the different ways people could take advantage of it. So maybe just give me an example of a couple of use cases that the product team has been kicking back and forth as you guys have been developing and bringing this solution to bear.
Yes, let me talk about three particular use cases. One is project statusing and management. If you're an implementer of the Syniti Knowledge Platform, you know that you're typically working under some sort of constraint. We need to get these data quality checks live by this date, or there's an assessment of trust of a legacy system by this date, or we have a migration here, or how is MDM implementation running? So one key area of metrics and usage are those reports and insights for those stakeholders that care about project status, run rate, those sorts of things. That's one vertical, very exciting. There's another, which I think is equally interesting, and that is about tying what the data needs are of an organization to their you'll hear something about business outcomes, but essentially putting trusted data in context is how we think about it. And in order to do that, you need to blur some traditional lines that I think are an exciting capability within the Syniti Knowledge Platform. So if I'm working with manufacturing and I need to understand how my data quality impacts my manufacturing, well, maybe I'm going to talk about interchangeable like spare parts, right? Around kind of asset and equipment, how my manufacturing lines are staying running and up. In order to do that, I may have a data quality check about duplicates. And that's interesting for data people. But this custom dashboarding allows you to essentially put your data quality right next to maybe a KPI or two that's meaningful to the business and start to draw a picture on how those two come together. So taking trusted data, which is what we really deliver with the Knowledge Platform, and link that to key business data in one platform can be very, very powerful.
Right, and a new visualization capability that might not have been even thought of perhaps before. That now suddenly they're getting visibility into a new way of measuring how things are going.
Yeah, and if you think about silos, there's all this BI enterprise reporting that, again, we're not trying to take over that BI enterprise reporting. We think that's really powerful. But what we've seen is that data quality for data quality's sake doesn't matter. And in order to get across the point that data quality for the business sake is what we're after, we need to bring in visualizations and linkages that the business understands. So this allows that visual paradigm. And I think the third way we envision this working is taking insights that have previously been in people's heads and giving them a platform that is easily consumable. If you think about the attention span of somebody that which you need to get a hold of, we have to talk about the data leader as a startup founder. And so as a data leader, you're always going out and trying to, raise money in a startup world, but in your business, you're trying to, prove that you're unlocking value, trying to get more funding, trying to do the next really cool, meaningful project. And one of the ways to do that is to provide insight and ROI back to the business. And you can make all the PowerPoint slide decks and all the white papers, but the picture, the one chart, the one graph that people really lock into can be the fastest path to saying, I get it now. I didn't before. I get it now. I want more of that. So we also believe that as a champion of data stewards, of data governance or organizations, we believe these capabilities will really empower those groups to feel and treat like the entrepreneurs that we want them to be within, our customer base.
Right. And that is a really interesting point, because the next thing I was going to talk to you about was benefits, right? But you just laid out a really, really interesting benefit there. Are there other ways that you think either the users themselves of the applications, that was a great user case, like, okay, I as a data steward or a data project lead have the ability to make these great these charts and be able to deliver value to my bosses and the overall company. Are there other use cases or benefits that you would envision those users getting, or to the other side, to the companies getting?
Yeah, so let's start with the easy one first, which is the users. So this is about doing more faster with less plates spinning, right? If that metaphor translates. So you don't have to take data out and put it in another BI tool, or really what the world runs on, take data out, put it in Excel, do some charts, copy those charts into a PowerPoint and send them to somebody. Rather, you can set up fully integrated, interactive, self-service reporting so your stakeholders have visibility. So you do that faster. You do that with a much more interactive palette, and you can get real-time access. So remember, this is in our knowledge platform. So you don't have that point in time. I got it out of Excel last week on Tuesday, so here's the most recent snapshot. You can go up to real-time access to these insights. To the business, I believe that this feature allows for less scrap and rework. So money savings, also a faster time to value for data initiatives. Let's take both of those. Every organization has a certain amount of money that they can put back into their company. And with as value of an asset data is, a lot of that investment is going to go back in making trusted and understood data. So you got to place bets. Every time something gets funded is if somebody pushing their chips in on the roulette wheel. And by having the insights into what is having the biggest impact on the business outcomes about where we are with data management, your decision makers can place higher percentage bets that pay off. So that's using the money to get the insights and get the place the right bets the first time.
You're harvesting data more effectively. In that
exactly. And right, what does that lead to? That leads for more competitive advantage, right?
Yeah.
That means faster getting reactivity to the market. And if we think about in this kind of current climate, but hopefully then coming out with a V-shaped recovery, knock on wood, then it's going to be about agility, speed, and reactivity to where that market trends happen and how people shift. And data is the way to drive that. I think the other thing that it gives you is that real sense of clarity about what data investments are working and what's not, and insights into what's happening without having to do the email chain. Kevin emails Tyler, Tyler emails Elizabeth, Elizabeth emails Blake, Blake emails Lucas, and then maybe I get the answer. But if I need the answer and I have that embedded dashboard that's meaningful to me, which is why the custom is important. Yeah, we ship dashboards. The ability to rapidly customize them to my needs, so what I care about, means I get that insight without having to run that chain, which makes me, as the stakeholder, as the executive, a lot more effective in my job, because I get to answer my boss's questions and make my decisions faster.
Right. Well, this has been a really interesting overview, because you can understand just by A, how excited you are about this, and B, the details, the use cases, the benefits that are coming out of this, the value that this is going to bring to organizations. Why don't we take 5 or 8 minutes and jump into a quick demo? Show us where it exists in the system, how people can access it, sort of some of the top level features of it, and then we'll make sure people get in there and taking advantage of it.
So I think the best way, Kevin, for me to show you it is like a cooking show. Let me show you the plate of food done first, right? So what you're looking at here is a custom dashboard built for somebody senior in a procurement department. at Syniti Sporting Goods as our model company here, right, as our representative company. And they have 108 million in annual spend, and they're looking at the quality or the trust or the understanding of their procurement data. And what we see here is a data quality check that is payment terms at the global level have a corporate standard. And so if the payment term in the system does not meet that corporate standard, that is likely a data quality problem. Now, maybe it's not because a contract was negotiated, but this is where data quality drives a business outcome, right? Payment terms is always populated. So the is not, must not be blank check is passed. But that's elementary, that's great, that's needed, but it's foundational. So how do we take the data quality check of we must adhere to our corporate standards for payment terms and combine that with the insight needed with the data quality check all in one view? And that's what you're looking at here. So here are all the suppliers that violate that payment term standard and provide both negative or positive impact to the working capital. And the data quality check would give you maybe this list of suppliers technically. But when we combine that in a way that the procurement head wants to see it with what are my biggest impacting, what are the most recent purchase orders for those, what is the impact of that individual supplier, all of that comes together in a way that now what could be a behind the scenes view of data quality, that data team, those stewards are able to push that up into a business view, right? So this is what the power of the custom dashboarding is. There is no two procurement heads that want exactly the same view. So the ability to look at this, view it, and change it is really powerful.
Right.
So let's say, Kevin, I sent this to you and you said, you know what, I'd like another chart on here. I would love to see this as a pie chart as well so I can get that analytical breakdown. Well, when I go into the dashboard builder area, now I'm changing from that consumer that's just going to view these dashboards, somebody that's going to build them. So I'm going to look at this dashboard that was built here and just go into this kind of design palette view. Now, I'm not going to make a bunch of changes here, but you can see how very quickly, if I wanted to add in a dashboard, I have the capabilities to come in here, drag them, drop them, add in a new visual, say I want a pie chart, and I'm going to bring in, and right, so now I've got this information in a pie chart, which I can go set many settings on, drag this up, put it next to it, and then go publish it. I'm not going to go through all of the features. We also have insights, so this is this kind of machine learning capability that you can bring to your customers. I can add here just of all the different insights that can be pushed out and used for driving, helping kind of the machine pull that out. I can tell stories with this data. I can do custom links, cross-referencing, drill, and all this stuff that you would expect to be able to tell these stories. Now, I'm not going to save this here.
And you also have the ability to share this with particular team members or a whole team.
So I could go publish this. I could share this with particular team members, yeah. a subset of users. As I publish this dashboard out, I could publish it, I could share it, I can workflow it around such that I can then drive these insights here very rapidly. So it's very agile from a build perspective. It allows you to really tell those stories in a way that makes your stakeholders and your consumers really bought into what's happening on the data work streams.
Right. Here's the insight. Here's how data is actually paying off for us right now. Here's how it's going to be saving us money. Here's how we're going to be able to stay on top of it. This is how we're going to be able to avoid missteps. All of this sort of at your fingertips by being able to create these custom dashboards.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome, Tyler. I appreciate your time today, man. This has been a really fascinating view of this new capability, and I appreciate you taking part in the first Feature Friday.